Why, hello there and welcome to the very first episode of Cuba, Cars, Cigars, and Cervezas with me, your crazy, kooky host. Yes, it is Thailand's happiest hobo coming at you from absolutely happening Havana, Cuba. Yes, guys, I have flown halfway around the world to show you what it's honestly like living here in Cuba, what it's like visiting, just the absolute beauty that is Havana. Now, because we're in a totally different country, I'm going to do my videos in a completely different format. For the first time ever, guys, I'm going to give you a first-person view of a city. So I'm going to use my Insta360 Go 3 today. I'm going to clip it on my hat, look like an absolute dolt, and walk you around this city. Now, I'm doing this because this is what they want you to see. See the beautiful five-star hotels behind me? Over here is the Capitol building. They're going to show you these beautiful antique American cars, happy, friendly Cubans helping people out, smiling tourists spending money. That's not what the doctor's going to show you. I'm going to show you what they don't want you to see, okay? I'm going to show you the reality of living in Cuba today. Because guys, I'm going to tell you something. It's definitely not what the brochure shows, and it's not what your travel agent is selling you, especially not here in Havana. It's still one of the most beautiful cities in the world to me. I love coming here. I have a fantastic time every time I'm here. But the brutal, stark reality of living in Cuba as a Cuban, it's not this absolute beauty with the five-star hotels, the antique cars. No. Let's go and see what real Cuba looks like. So again, guys, we're going to start out here in Central Park. It's one of the most beautiful spots in Havana. We're just seconds away from Old Havana over here, but we're going this way. Now, over here you have some five-star hotels. Architecture is simply gorgeous. The Capitol building's right over here. You can Google all of that stuff. And of course, you've got the cars. There's nothing that is more Cuban than American cars, really, guys. Now again, this is the vibe, this is the visual that they want you to see. Again, you have the five-star hotels over here, but just a short walk. And again, guys, I apologize. This video is going to be different than any one I've ever made, and it's going to be a little bit longer, but I think you will enjoy it because you're going to get to see Havana exactly the way that I do. Now, I apologize for the camera movement. You have to understand the camera is mounted on my hat. But it's going to give you that real first-person perspective. So that's the park there, and we just turned the corner. Literally, I mean turn the corner, and it's completely different. Oh, I'm good, nada. Every place you go, you will have people that want to change currency with you. Please watch my video about the Cuban currency crisis that I'm going to be releasing in a couple of days because it will shock you. Also, I'm going to do some videos about scams here in Cuba with the currency that if you're coming here, you have to be aware of. One thing you're going to notice a lot is people queued up in lines here. And what they're waiting for is basic necessities. These guys over here are actually waiting to get rolls. Dinner rolls, hamburger rolls, you know, just bread. We're going to take one of these bike things out later on today. They're actually a lot of fun. If you have a back problem though, they're brutal on your lower back, so keep that in mind. But they are a great way to see the city. And it costs you about $5 for an hour for a guy to pedal you around talking about the city. It's not a bad way to spend an hour. Grab yourself a couple of cold beers and sit back, relax, and check out the sights. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, you'll have the old beautiful cars that look like they've been restored and stuff like that. Those are the ones that the tourists use. A lot of Cubans are taking older cars and they're building them into essentially homemade SUVs like this one, because they can fit more people into them and they can make more money as a taxi. The Cuban ingenuity is fantastic, isn't it? This is commonplace. And what I'm really surprised about right now is that there's nobody here digging through the garbage looking for stuff that they can use. Pretty much nothing goes to waste here. If you're into street art,
That's it.
no, I'm good. If you're into street art, Havana has some of the most incredible graffiti artists. I just got a mouthful of flies back there, by the way. Anything for YouTube, guys. But yeah, the street art here is just gorgeous. It's a shame because a lot of tourists would come to this area and walk around just for the art if it wasn't for, well, again, garbage and filth everywhere. The buildings, because of a lack of funding and maintenance, are beginning to crumble to the point that I'm not sure a lot of them are even safe anymore. I do apologize for the background noise, guys. There's nothing I can do about it. I will try post-editing to remove as much as I can, but we're in the streets of Havana and they're very narrow. It's all concrete, so it echoes a lot. You would be surprised how many abandoned cars you will find here that have just been stripped down. I think it's like a free parts store, if you want to know the truth. I've seen people come, grab stuff off of these and just walk away. You will find tons of buildings like this that used to be These little Fiats are everywhere. I think they're so cool. I mean, they can fit in your pocket, but man, it's amazing that they can keep them running. Oh. And of course you have the Ladas. The Ladas, again, like the Fiat, they're everywhere. You have whole areas like this one here where the building has just completely disintegrated to essentially nothing. So you have people that are squatting in them. Like this guy up here on the balcony, I can't understand how he hasn't fallen off by now. They do obviously have some newer cars here. If you were lucky enough to have a family member in America, they could send you money and you could buy something. Very rare though. This Lada Nivea is really cool though. This is the first one I've seen here. I can remember when they sold those in Canada, believe it or not. You got to be careful that you don't get run over here. You will find all kinds of people selling fruits and vegetables. These old Willys Jeeps that they've converted into SUVs and station wagons are pretty sharp. Kind of like a Havana Hummer. You know, you look at a building like this one here in the corner that has been renovated. Obviously, they have family who are from the United States that have sent them money and they've been able to build it up. But here's a prime example. This place here, a room in this is going to be $100 US a night, and you're beside this. Or this. The contrast, well, it's pretty stark, isn't it? And I will say this much, it doesn't take long for you to get out of the incredibly beautiful postcard, tourist video areas into where we just were, because that's the block that we just walked through, and boom, we're right back into the 5-star hotels. The Capitol building is right down here. This will walk you down to the waterfront where the harbor is, where all of the forts are. And just like that, we are now strolling these sandy beaches of Varadero. Again, we are at the Cuba that they want you to see. And in this series, guys, I'm gonna show you as much about Cuba as I possibly can. Show you what's good, show you what's bad, obviously. We're gonna cover the cars because, well, being a car guy, I love them and I can't get enough of them. They are definitely one of the things that draw me here for sure. So guys, please enjoy this series, and I'll see you back in Thailand soon. Believe me, I can't wait to get home. I gotta be honest with you. I've been here for 2 full weeks. I've had the worst lung infection you can possibly imagine, which is why, guys, I haven't got any videos out lately. I really apologize about that, but I'm feeling 100% better now, and back in the saddle, looking forward to showing you guys everything that you need to know about coming to Cuba. Till next time, guys, cheers.